The Book of Henry is directed by Colin Trevorrow and stars Naomi Watts as a mother trying to raise two kids, one of whom, played by Jaeden Lieberher, is extremely smart for his age. He's essentially a genius, and far beyond his other classmates in regards to learning. And his younger brother is played by Jacob Tremblay, and the film starts out as a very nice, fun family movie where everyone's happy and it feels like everyone's safe. They're riding their bicycles around in a nice neighborhood. There's a tree house. They build complicated contraptions together to have fun until the older kid realizes that there might be something sinister going on next door with one of his friends at school. And that's where the film gets considerably darker. I was excited for this movie because I like when Colin Trevorrow tackles something original, and getting to talk to him and interview him, I learned that that's something that's very close to his heart. He really wants to make original movies, and he feels that the audiences today are really begging for that type of entertainment. And I think The Book of Henry is one that they'll appreciate in that regard, specifically because this movie really isn't like any other film. It's very unique and very different, and they do break a lot of rules. The movie shifts in tone very harshly about halfway through. It gets a lot darker than I anticipated, and I was honestly sitting in the theater surprised at what I was looking at. I'm shocked that they actually got away with it, and it worked, in my opinion, in the movie. It really takes you by the collar and kind of shakes you, and you're like, okay, that was a lot more realism than I was expecting in this moment. Let's see what happens now. And I could see that turning a lot of people off, because the movie is marketed as one thing, and it turns into something more sinister, which will most certainly rattle people. It did for me. And it worked for myself because I appreciate that when I go to the movies. I like not knowing everything going in. It's really refreshing to see a film that is a total change of pace. And it's ballsy. There are decisions that are made towards the second half of this movie that I was actually biting my fingernails thinking, I don't know how people are going to react to this. And I think it could cause some controversy amongst people, but I think the majority are going to be impressed by the originality that's here. Let's talk about the performances, because across the board, they're all fantastic. Dean Norris plays the evil stepfather who lives next door, and the young kid played by Jaeden Lieberher is also really strong here, a performance that's far beyond his years. This kid suspects that this father is involved in some very unsavory things. Naomi Watts is always good, but she really shines in the last half of this movie because her character has to make a lot of really hard choices. And Jacob Tremblay, once again, is giving a really good performance as a kid, and he's someone to continue to look out for. For all the kids in the movie, the standout for me was Maddie Ziegler. I thought that she was really good and very understated. She doesn't have a lot of dialogue in the film, and so she has to act quite a bit just through the expression on her face. One sequence in particular during a talent show, she was brilliant. She has to do a lot of really physical things during this performance while also conveying a lot of pain through her face. And she was so good. Colin Trevorrow clearly is very good at working with actors. Where the film falters for me a little bit is the second half, and the characters have to make some tough decisions and do some things that they're being suggested that they should do, and I was just like, you guys are smarter than this. You guys are smarter than this. You know this is not the right path. And I was just waiting for certain things to happen, and it got a little predictable, I think, is basically my biggest issue with the movie. After that big shift and the movie became something else, which I appreciated, the film showed its cards to me pretty quickly, I think. And some might feel differently. Some might be able to be like, I have no idea what's going on. But I kind of could see where the rest of the film was going, even after that big surprise. But overall, I think this might actually be my favorite Colin Trevorrow movie. I enjoyed Jurassic World, but I think this is probably a better film, and I like it more than Safety Not Guaranteed as well. I'm going to give The Book of Henry a B. Guys, thank you so much, as always, for watching. Definitely check out my Colin Trevorrow interview. I had a blast talking to him about this film and the way he creates original stories. He was a really down-to-earth guy, and it was a lot of fun. That's going to be linked at the end. Also, I want to let you know that my promotion with Audible is still going on. If you guys go to audible.com/Chris, you can get a free 30-day trial. They have hundreds of thousands of audiobooks. I have listened to quite a bit myself. The Star Wars Legacy novels, Stephen King's library is there as well. It's such a fantastic service for book lovers. If you don't always have time to sit down and read a book, you can download these audiobooks to your MP3 player, your computer, any device that you could really think of. You can probably get them on there. So please check out audible.com/Chris and check out that 30-day trial. Thank you so much to Audible for continuing to sponsor my videos. You guys are the best, and if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.